Good evening. I'm Nikki Zas, and this is Karin Wiese, my partner. Nou so 'n jaar gelede so gesê meneer Zas sê, en dit is mevrou Wiese. Not anymore. We are, and that is what I've learned at the circle. We are a family and friends. So her name is Karin, and I'm Nikki. So I just want to take you, we don't have any slides, so you can just check them on the, but I want to take you through my experience, Partners of Possibility. It started early last year, 2017. I was invited by Paul for the launch of this circle by Beacon Hill High. And I thought, maybe I need to go, see what's going on. And when I came there, they explained the program. And what is important afterwards, just before the last thing, Paul liked to ask questions. And he asked the question, what will you as principals do to let this program fail? That was the question, and that was interesting for me, because I had lots of things now to say. You're not going to attend meetings, you're not going to work. And there I decided that I wanted to be part, because we knew all the things that we have to do to let it fail. But, and we also know, and he said then, afterwards, if you know what we need to do to let it fail, then we actually know what to do for success. And that's why I decided I wanted to be part of this journey. So, now what? That is Paul. Now, did this Partners for Possibility help me as a leader at school? Definitely. And I want to just take two things out of that. The one thing is that I have now more trust in my ability and of my SMT. You know, previously, if I was not at school, and that was the time to think, I was worried what is going on at school. And at this stage, I think I can trust them with the school. And then, the next thing is by flawless consulting. I've learned one thing, and Paul mentioned about, we so democratic sometimes, but there's a time to be autocratic. You need to tell people what they need to do sometimes. And that is the one thing that I've also learned with flawless consulting. Then, my family. What? My family. I think time to think. Gave me the tools to listen to them. And I'm not a good listener. I like to interrupt. And sometimes I want to complete sentences. And that stopped now. So, and then my partner. Always calm. Listen to you. And I'm a person that go out there. So I've learned that skill, to be calm in all situations. And then to the circle. Really, the interaction between us. I will really miss that. I really miss that. But I know that you are just a phone call away. And just before I give to Karin, I've retired at the end of February. I'm now 2 weeks into my retirement. But Karin and I decided that we will go forward with the partnership, and we will still help Elswood. I give over to Karin.
The worst thing that I ever had to do during my working career was to chair disciplinary hearings. And it was mostly about dishonesty or fraud. Now imagine having to deal with matters such as learners who were seriously injured in gang-related violence, or parents who've been killed in gang-related violence or other criminal activities, or children who are affected by domestic violence, parents or children who are scared to walk to school because it's a no-go area. These things are all in a day's work for Nikki. And I realized that, it's very easy to be an effective leader when you're in a well-resourced and very pleasant business environment. But when you have to deal with all these challenges, it's not so easy. So it's very easy to criticize and say, the teachers or principals don't do their work. But when you are allowed into their world and you see what they have to deal with on a daily basis, it really was an eye-opener for me. And the whole our partnership journey was really a very enriching experience for me. And we've referred to the 3 workshops that we all attended, and I'm just going to give you one of the takeouts that I had from each of these workshops. The first one was time to think, and perhaps I can just ask you to just get that video clip ready for me, please. I'm impatient, I'm results orientated, I'm a doer by nature and very quick to put up my hand to offer a solution to any problem. But Nikki's realities made me realize that, that is not going to just do things, to put up a new fence around the school or build a hall will not address some of the issues that you deal with at the school. And I have, I've come to respect his leadership style, and I realize that, I don't have the answers to deal with the problems that he has to deal with every day, and he has more experience than I would ever like to have to solve any of those problems. So the time to think workshop for me was that I became keenly aware that everyone's thinking matters, and that is by, that you get the best results by getting everybody's best thinking. And that is where I have similar problems to Nikki, my husband can vouch for that, that we learn to listen. And I would like to play a video clip by the secretary, Nikki's secretary. It is in Afrikaans, but I've translated it, and I've asked Toby to just hand out the translation for those people who can't follow the Afrikaans. So at the beginning of the year, I didn't know where this journey was going to take us, but I think this is a very profound shift in Nikki's the way that he leads the school. And I think you all have to agree that is quite amazing. Then flawless consulting, I think the 2 things that I took out of it for me personally is that it's okay for me to express my own wants independent from other people's expectations. And then the one that I've already mentioned earlier is that I contribute to every problem, even if it's by not doing or saying something. And then the community building workshop was really amazing. And one of the most important things is that TED talk that we listened to about the danger of a single story. We all have our prejudices and preconceived ideas about people, and we can be so wrong, and it just made me challenge my own prejudices on a regular basis. And then a very important one for me is that the solution is in the room. That means that the solution to the problems in the schools and the communities are actually in the communities, and we just need to invite them and make them part of our journey.
1 minute here.
Okay. So maybe we haven't implemented all the goals that we set out for ourselves at the beginning of our journey, but I think that shift in Nikki's, the way that he treats his staff is amazing, and we have agreed to continue with this journey. And I just want to, we obviously need to have those conversations with the parents. We had a very successful teacher team building session, which I think also made quite a big impact, but we need to continue with that. And I just want to thank Partners for Possibility, then my sponsor, my past employer, the Fushini Group, Paul, our facilitator, who helped me to become more of a human being than a human doing, and then all the other members of our circle, and then of course my husband, who supported me through this whole journey. And I sincerely hope that we will continue with our relationships that we've built through this past year. Thank you to everybody.